Internet land? How are we doing this fine day? Hey, we got Phil on a call in. He's wandering through the backwoods of Alaska or some silliness. I don't know where he's at. You never know where the real Phil's going to pop up. The real Phil, you got any intel on your location today?
You'll never get it out of me.
All right. Well, as long as we know that you're out there and you're hanging out with us for a little while tonight. So this will probably be a quick show. Phil's traveling. I've got a dinner to go to. Hanging out with some of our mag tonight. So that's pretty exciting. I made some spicy sausage queso dip for my portion of the dinner. So
Oh
always hang out,
man,
always hang out with people who make good food, right?
I am craving weird things like vegetables and all kinds of stuff. I'm day two into carnivore, having done a little over 72-hour fast, and um and I find myself, and so that's like zero sugar, which is screwing up a lot of the meats that I like to eat, like my favorite
Right.
rubs and all
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff. And I mean, it's cool. I can put a little half and half in the coffee this morning, although after the results of that, I'm not sure that I will again for a while. Um, like,
Yeah.
so, man, it's a little crazy, but
Well, I could have
nobody
just
can
made
see it,
this.
but yeah.
Nobody can nobody can see it. Have you lost a little weight?
So I'm at 32 pounds down in an unknown period. I'm gonna go long and say about 6 months. But
Yeah.
realistically, I've only been losing weight for a little while. But what's awesome for me, what's been fun is as I'm just past 15 pounds just in this little experiment alone, which I'm coming up on a week.
Good job,
So
dude. Way to go.
obviously there'll be a stall, like right. I mean, you
Yep.
should be stalling right about now,
Right about now. Yep. You'll
because you
stall
can't
for two
lose
weeks.
15 pounds and but I got this fancy watch that tells you everything known to man, and coupled it with a fancy scale, which I think you also have, because as soon as I plugged it in, it wanted to suggest that you and I be scale friends.
I don't have no. I don't
Um,
have a fancy scale. I don't. I wish I did, but I
oh,
don't
I
know.
wonder if it's
Maybe
just the Connect app. So the Garmin, do you have a
probably.
Garmin Connect app going with some sort of device?
Yeah, I do. I have some Yeah, I've got
And
some Garmin stuff. Yeah.
so that's what it was, along with
Yeah.
like two or three people that I haven't seen in decades, and one that I'd rather never see again. That Garmin tried very hard for me to be scale buddies with, and I went, no, the
I
hell is
I
this?
I I will not name this. They're like Voldemort. They're the ones I will not name. But I bet I know who you're talking about. The well, dude, I gotta tell you, man, I'm proud of you. Fitness is a prep, man. People forget that fitness is a prep. I mean, I was in the
I
gym
love,
3 days last
you
week, and I
know,
was really
I
excited to
had a
get
lot of
back at
fun
it.
with keto a couple years ago. I lost what was it, like 18 pounds or something,
Yeah.
in about 5 weeks.
Okay.
But this has been really fun to me. I mean, absolutely zero part past the first 24 hours of a water only fast is fun.
Yeah.
Um, and I got to the point I actually was going to go longer, but I had to do some brain activities at work and could not. I couldn't. I got to the point where I actually couldn't really drive even.
Oh, yeah.
So
You get a little
at
foggy
that point,
until the ketosis
I
kicks in.
had to kind of throw it in. No, I woke up second day in full on ketosis, like
Oh,
spitting butter out and um, leaking grease
that's
from every
awesome.
pore of my body, and
That's awesome.
I even when I
Can you
did
taste
keto,
it?
I don't think I hit bad this time, like
Yeah.
butter. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Where's all this butter come from? So that last time I did keto, I never hit it that strong. The
Now,
fast,
when you do
man.
keto, do you do any like the MTC oils or anything like that in your coffee? Have you done any of those things?
The first time I did, the first time I
Okay.
ever did keto, I did. I stopped
Because I
because I just
pooped
couldn't
like a
even get.
monster. I pooped like
I
a
just couldn't even
monster.
get through one glass of coffee with that, one mug of coffee with that stuff in it. But no, I'm
See, I
loving it.
didn't.
I'm eating like a 3 pound ribeye cooked in butter and losing weight.
Nice.
It's so
Because
fun.
you're not keto right now. You're carnivore right now.
I'm carnivore right now. I'm gonna slide into some keto, which introduces a couple of low carb vegetables.
Okay.
Um, and then after an unknown period, I haven't decided if I'm going to go for my actual weight goal or not, um,
So you're
or
gonna
if
do the
I'm just going to do it for a little while.
So you can do
I'm
like the
actually at a
leafy
pretty comfortable
greens, the
place.
spinach and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm not making a forever change. I have no intention to.
Right.
I love beer. I will bring back
As do I.
beer
As do I.
later.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I usually take all of November. I don't drink any alcohol for between 4 and 6, sometimes even 8 weeks, just every year. Um, for lots of reasons, but partly just to. And I'm not a big drinker by any means,
Yeah.
but I
No,
enjoy
you're
a
not.
couple of beers pretty often.
Yeah.
And in some periods every day, which to some people who don't drink, they think that's pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
um, I could care less what people like that think. And
Right.
I don't drink to a point of drunkenness
No.
ever without feeling like I've sinned or something.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just can't
Yeah.
even tell you the last time I did it. But it's just not a
Yeah.
thing. It's not a weakness. So if anybody's confused and doesn't know me, then but like I make really good beer.
You do.
I only drink the best of beer that I really enjoy, and I drink it because I like it, not for any other
Because it's not
purpose.
about getting sloppy. It's about enjoying the taste of beer. So
No,
like
in
I'm
fact,
glad to
one of
hear
my
you.
favorites currently is a really low alcohol beer. So,
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
what's
no,
that? Give us
feeling
give
good,
us a little.
and um, I I'm not going to throw that one out there. Um,
Okay.
but
No
it,
full endorsements online.
no, no, no. But yeah, so I'm um 29 pounds away from what would be super skinny for me. Um, and considering going all that way, I just haven't
Good job.
decided yet. I didn't
Good job.
expect, so I didn't have a scale. I didn't even have a scale when I started this. So I had no idea that I already lost so much weight inadvertently, just kind of doing the intermittent fasting and all that, not
Yeah.
trying. So when I stepped on the scale after the fast before I ate again, I was 35 pounds down from the last time I stepped on a scale. And I went, whoa, when did I do that? So
Right. Good for you,
anyway,
buddy.
it's kind
Good
of
for
fun.
you.
It's kind of fun.
That's
So
awesome, man. Well, hey, man, I'll say it again. Fitness is a prep, so I'm proud of you, dude. Way to get out there and move your body. You know that this has been a big portion of my life for the last 2 years is this weight loss journey. So
I'm
I'm
doing it just
excited.
by
I'm
eating
excited.
meat once a
Yeah, there
day.
you go. There
I
you go.
still don't even take the stairs. I use the elevator.
Aha, okay. Good.
Like I'm maybe 2,500 steps a day.
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't even go upstairs in my house very often because I plan my
yeah.
trips and try to only do it twice a day. Because otherwise my knees quit and I'm on this couch for
Okay,
a
okay.
time.
Well,
So
I've been down for the last few days because I've got this bone spur in my heel, and I worked out a little hard last week. I stepped off of a log deck a little hard last week, and I fired off my heel, my bone spur in my heel, and I've been down for about 5 days. So I'm finally feeling really good today. So I'm gonna get some workout in tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna get a ride tomorrow, even though it's snowy and cold here. I'm hoping I can get a
yeah,
cycle in tomorrow. That would be really ideal. I'm gonna go. Knock out a couple of errands, and I'm hoping for at least a 20 miler tomorrow. Would be really great. Any headlines jumping out for you this week?
probably. I don't remember.
Well, I'll start
You
us
were
off by saying,
mentioning one. I don't. You
yeah.
tell me how that ties into the prep thing. It was something I hadn't heard of, so I don't
Well,
know.
I think mainly it ties into prep stuff because it's going to be some serious civil unrest for some of our major cities. So if you're not familiar, and I'm pulling up the headline, um, uh, there was a young man killed by the police in, I believe, Memphis, and there was about 5 officers involved in a kind of a beat to death kind of situation,
Five
and though
officers beat one person to death. That's the story.
yeah, yeah, and
Oh,
it's very inconvenient for the left because it doesn't fit their narrative. There were 5 black officers and there was a black suspect. So so basically, it's just an
so
overall,
surely
yeah.
racism's not involved.
Uh,
Yeah.
well,
You
yeah,
sure
there's
everybody's
just
gonna riot then?
there's already rioting. It's already happening.
Oh,
They're going to release the footage of it tonight, the body cam footage tonight, which I find absolutely offensive that they would release the footage on a Friday night. They should be releasing footage like that on a Monday morning. But they're calling
Well, if you
for.
really want to riot, you got to do that when you get your days off.
Yeah. So it's not, so I don't know how much stock anybody watching the show puts into Fox News. I really kind of hate everything mainstream news, Fox, CNN, all of them are garbage as far as I'm concerned. But the
Get
headline
everything you need
that
to know off of Twitter.
there you go. That's right. Fox is claiming that the video of the Memphis officer beating Tyree Nichols is as bad as Rodney King. So
Oh,
that's not going to be good. So it's going to spark off an overarching hatred of law enforcement. One of the YouTubers that I follow, who I won't mention out loud because I don't want to drive people to his channel. I've been a big fan of him in the past. You know that I've spoken very positively of him in the past. He made another "I hate the cops" video this week. Because he was an idiot. He even starts the video by saying, "Hey, I was an idiot and I did the wrong thing. I apologize. There's a creature sitting on the table, shaking. It's my folks' cat, and it's causing my camera to bounce. And I apologize, everybody. Um, yeah, I got a dog pacing, losing its
time for
mind
some
all.
Korean food. No.
Yeah, time for some Korean food is right. I'm about to throw this gigantic loaf of bread off this table here in a second. But anyway, so this is there's already rioting happening, and basically I say this because, and I bring the headline up primarily because it does affect prepping. Civil unrest, is one of the primary reasons why we prep,
Need
right?
to
Because
be
because if
aware and not be
yeah,
forced into places where that is happening because
well,
you
we
didn't
talk about
plan ahead.
Correct. We talk about the rules of stupid a lot, right? So the rules of stupid,
Yeah.
don't go stupid places with stupid people at stupid times. So if there's active civil unrest going on in your cities, then you should not go there. And the way you cannot go there is by having the preps that you need in place, having what you need, having the groceries, having long-term food storage. It's like if you live in Atlanta, first of all, I would ask you why. If you live in Memphis, I
Yeah.
want to ask you why. But if you live there, you should not be going to the grocery store this weekend. You should be living off your preps. You should have plenty of rice and beans and canned foods and some meat in the freezer and all that stuff. And then you got to be really careful with what's in the freezer because I would imagine one of the most popular ways of protest these days is by shooting up power substations. So they can expect some power outages. They often burn cars right next to power poles and it takes power out on blocks. So I would have your go bags ready in case there's food, in case there's a fire in your neighborhoods and you have to leave. But ultimately, if you can stay home, stay home. Just hang tight, be ready, have all your self defense tools primed, and in the words of the great theologian Ted Nugent, cocked, rocked, and ready to rock dock. Right? But I would just say this is why we prep so that you don't have to leave during civil unrest. So anyway, Phil, I was ranting on about being prepped for social unrest, and what are your thoughts there?
Yeah. Well, avoid it. It's actually easier to do than most think. A lot of people say I have to live here because whatever. The whatever is usually not really all that great of a reason, which you'll realize about the time that your vehicle's getting slammed with rocks and bricks and
Yep.
your family's life is in danger. And at that point, you'll think maybe whatever job you thought that you had to do is perhaps maybe not a job that you actually really have to do. Or I don't know, maybe you're one of those people that continues to live in places like apparently Memphis and Chicago and Portland and
Yep.
Seattle because your job is more important than the life of your family.
That's right.
Some people are clearly making that call, and I'm not judging you. That's between you and God, and
I'm
you may
judging them.
meet him
I
sooner
am.
than later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's right.
um,
It's
yeah,
it's
I choose not to
interesting.
live in places like that, and I'm very prepared, and I could get away with it, and I'd probably be just fine. But you know, we all make our own personal choices, and some people are more comfortable with living around idiots that can kill you than I
Yeah.
am.
Well, I had a call today with one of our listeners, and who didn't give me permission to use their name, so I won't.
Yeah.
But she was telling me a story about back during the Ferguson riots. they were nowhere near the Ferguson riots. They were a couple of hours away, and they were in a moderate, not a large city. And there was some reasonable protests going on. There's people standing on street corners holding some signs, until someone came up and knocked on the window like they were like they were asking for help. And my friend is she's a combat vet. She knows how to handle herself, but she thought this person needed help, and they just wanted her window down. So she offered them a really close up and personal look at her everyday carry, and invited them to continue screaming in her window, so that she could aerate their skull. And they got a real up close look at her carry, and then they imagined that they walked away, huh? And then she very quickly evacuated the zone.
Well,
There
and
was a
quite
very
honestly, they
very
don't
quick exit.
usually walk away. They usually damage your vehicle and then
Right.
walk away.
And then but thankfully it didn't go badly on any direction, other than, she, she learned not to roll the window down. She thought she was trying to look at positive, be positive toward people, and she realized that that was a mistake. So, but she made it
Right.
home safe to her family, and
Hopefully, is
that's what
making
they.
changes in her life. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely. Like even tonight, she was talking about making sure that, she's like, "Hey, I'm just going to make sure my whole family's at home tonight. Like they don't get to go anywhere." She's got some teenagers that are out and about. And I would go back to what you just said, talking about, vehicle damage and things like that. I listened to Dave Ramsey the other day talking about bad weather, driving in bad weather, and he was saying, look, if you don't make more money than your deductible is to replace your vehicle, you shouldn't go to work in bad weather. You shouldn't go out. I would say the exact same situation. If you don't, in and around civil unrest, you shouldn't go out. Like there's no situation for 99.9% of people where they're going to be making enough money to go into an area like that. I mean, unless you're law enforcement or you're some kind of journalist or contractor, whatever. There's just no reason to go. It's not necessary. I think maybe I lost Phil again. Oh, he's back.
Can you
Okay.
can you hear me?
He hit the mute button. Yep, we got you.
I well, my phone turns the screen off, and that apparently turns off the.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I imagine so. So
Oh,
anyway, there's that headline. The other headline that I wanted to talk about is the fact that the United States and Germany have both committed tanks to Ukraine, and Russia's definitely got some pretty nasty things to say about that. Our tanks
as they
primarily,
should.
as they should. I totally agree. Our tanks
Cuban Missile
primarily.
Crisis was fought over the exact
Exactly.
same thing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. We'll see you there in a little bit. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And we're gonna, I personally think this has more like the Bay of Pigs, because I we're gonna abandon these people. We're gonna spin them up to fight, and then when America's guts are no longer in it, we're going to abandon them, and we never should have been involved in two corrupt countries fighting each other anyway. Um,
Yeah,
so uh,
yeah.
anyway, but they are absolutely fired up, and one of the big issues that people are just not talking about is the fact, our tanks fired depleted uranium rounds. And Russia has very clearly said that if we detect any depleted uranium rounds fired at us or into Russia, we will take that as nuclear aggression. And that's some scary stuff right there.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I'm not scared of Russia, they're more than tanks. We sent there was 31
Oh,
tanks, 90 fighting vehicles, and a whole whatever. I mean, it's a serious amount of firepower
oh,
we sent over there, and
yeah,
I with absolute all confidence will say we could have sent two tanks to do the job. We are
sure.
seriously that much more advanced in our weaponry than Russia
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
Um, but yeah, we are actually sending the smallest amount of a United Nations NATO front, and all the other countries, including Germany and some other countries, are sending a significant amount more than we are, which is a
Yep.
first for us.
Right.
So, in order for us to continue being allies, this is probably the bare minimum we could
Yeah.
send.
Yeah.
So
I
that
think you're right.
changes the story a little bit, but I still
Sure.
disagree with, let's stop pretending like we're, only in Laos or whatever. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, let's not play this game again, which, funny enough, the current president was alive and in political power during the last one
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
really is that
Absolutely.
old. So he's just
Yep.
doing stuff that he did last time. And maybe we
Agreed.
should not let him get us into another Vietnam.
Exactly. No, I think that's 100% right. I think we are absolutely being drug into another Vietnam, and there's just no getting around it, unfortunately. And I personally think that, Europe needs to be protecting Europe at this point, and they are,
If
all
we
those
send
countries that are
one
providing
troop, we
armor and
should
defense.
send 1,000 troops. If we shoot one bullet, we should drop a nuclear bomb. We have to
I agree.
stop doing this limp in political bullshit. Either we're
Yep.
going to go and fuck everybody up, or we should not go.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I'm really, I mean, but let's face it, we don't know how to win a conflict anymore.
I do.
All we know as a country, I'll say, as a country, all we know how to do is, build a wall between,
Well,
east and west,
since currently the
north
only
and south.
people that are actively serving in positions of power have lost their minds literally by having taken the Fauci ouchie.
Yep.
They've all had small aneurysms and have no idea what's going on in the world anymore. You know, they're
Boy,
all
oh
the
boy.
COVIDiots.
I got to tell you,
And
I'm praying for my friends. I'm praying for my friends who took the jab because,
dropping like
man,
flies, everybody is. It's pretty
boy,
sad.
it's been
I'm
bad.
affected
It's
by
been,
at least two people in my close family that I know of who are showing obvious,
oof, man, I'm sorry to
significant,
hear
and
that.
drastic side effects from making a poor choice about taking that vaccine. But you know what?
Yeah.
One of them did it willingly, and the other forced it on the other. So
Yeah.
she's old. She's going to die. It'll be all right. She's going to Jesus.
Yeah, she knows who Jesus is. I know who you're talking about. But I think that the big thing right now is
Well, and the other
let's
one died last week. So actually, now that I think
oh,
of it,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
well.
that's right. That's exactly
Hmm.
right. Well, so let's transition because you got to go, I've got to go. So we're looking at civil unrest in America. We're looking at global instability. That's just not. It's not getting any better. I think they moved the doomsday clock to 60 seconds or something this week. I mean, like all that.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
follow any of that, but yeah, I heard it. Tim Pool
I
talked
saw.
about it, and Tim Pool's entertaining right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree. And maybe next week we can talk a little bit about the open war between, the Daily Wire and Crowder and conservatives and stuff. But this week we don't really have time to get to that. But
I I don't
so
know how it
so
relates to preps, but let's. But yeah,
yeah,
no,
so
and next week we'll be live. So
yep, next week we'll be live, so it'll be a great show to hang out with, and that'll be a good time. But let me just ask you really quickly, in the context of what we're looking at today. You went to the store today. What are you, what are people, what should people be prepping this week? Like, what should they be picking up at the store if they can find it?
probably ammunition.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't
I
have any
think,
food, you probably should have some food. I didn't not
yeah.
seeing today at the two stores I went to. There's no shortages apparent. There's no price gouging apparent. Um, there was lots and lots of eggs, plenty of eggs, plenty of meat, all the things that have been short for a while. Plenty of coffee, plenty of imported stuff.
Yeah.
It looked.
Phil, your screen went off. Oh, we got him back again.
Can you hear me?
Not the smoothest show we've ever done, but I think there's some good content. So keep going on your thought there. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Um, buy ammo.
Buy ammo. Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, sorry for the abrupt transition there. Buy ammo, buy food. buy ammo, buy food. That neither of those are ever going to be wrong, because guess what? They're not going to be cheaper next year than they are today. So you're
Yeah.
not going to screw up by buying food or ammo, period.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, listen, man. Thanks for jumping in. Sorry for the abruptness. Sorry for the weird. Everybody, we appreciate you so much. Thanks for watching.
Live next week.
Live next week. Get prepped. I was waiting for Phil to say it if it's not too late, but okay. Bye, guys.